boys, today we are back, and in today's video I am going to be going over how to fix the light heavyweight division after UFC 327, where Carlos Alberg is confirmed to have a torn ACL. He's going to be out for some time. He's probably going to be out for at least a year, 9 months recovery, a couple months for a training camp. So we're probably not going to see him till next April, May, June-ish. So I'm going to fix the UFC light heavyweight division. I'm going to be matching up the top contenders. We're not going to be talking about fucking Nikita Krylov, Johnny fucking Walker, shit like that, because fuck those guys. Those guys are so far out of the title picture and they suck anyway. So we are going to get right into it, starting with the first matchup that needs to be made. Just kidding. Jan Blachowicz confirmed out of his fight with Bogdan Guskov at UFC 328. It's time for him to retire. He's done at 42 years of age, coming back from a meniscus tear. Like, after all the fucking shoulder surgeries he's had, like, this guy's done. He wrote on Instagram he wants to go out on his own terms, so it sounds like he wants one more fight. So give him one more fucking fight. He's like fucking fourth in the ranking, so that's literally insane. Or like third or fourth. Like, it's still crazy that he's still up there and he hasn't won a fight since like 2022. But give him one more like retirement fight. Give him like a fucking Nikita Krylov, a fucking Volkan Oezdemir, someone like that. But yeah, he needs to retire. He's got one more in him, but he's probably going to be out for an extended period of time too, probably like almost 8 to 12 months, I'd say, for a meniscus tear. So, especially in Poland, where the doctors aren't as good as like American doctors. I'm guessing. I don't know if that's accurate, but he's going to be out for some time. But he wants one more, so give him one more and then get rid of him. Yeah, Jan Blachowicz needs to retire. But starting off with the matchups, I do have Volkan Oezdemir versus Azamat Murzakanov. This makes a lot of sense. Volkan Oezdemir's won 3 out of his last 4. He deserves a little bit of a jump up. Murzakanov obviously coming off his first loss, was number 6 ranked. I think he's like 6th or 7th still, or maybe 8th. And Volkan Oezdemir is like 10th or 11th. So a little step down to give Azamat Murzakanov a win. A nice step up for Volkan to see if he can break into the top 10. Clear matchmaking here. Make this sometime, maybe like Abu Dhabi, October, November, December-ish. Murzakanov's probably going to need a lot of time. I think he broke his arm, and he did get battered by Paulo Costa. So he's going to need some time off. But yeah, run this fight. This makes, really, a lot of sense. Moving on. Dominic Reyes versus Bogdan Guskov. Dominic Reyes does not deserve a jump up after that shitty fight with Johnny Walker. So, in my opinion, given Bogdan Guskov, who was supposed to fight at UFC 328, make this like somewhat soon. Like, make this June, July, August. Like, make it quick. Dominic Reyes did not take any damage against Johnny Walker. Like, literally no damage at all. Maybe just like a few leg kicks. And Bogdan Guskov was ready to go. So, I say make this fight pretty soon. And in my opinion, Dominic Reyes probably wins this. It gets him another win. Bogdan Guskov isn't that good. Maybe Guskov could fucking spark Dominic Reyes out cold, but I don't know. I don't think Guskov's that good. He fucking went to a draw with Jan Blachowicz and got dropped by him. So, in my opinion, if that's happening in 2026, you're terrible. So, yeah. Or was that 2025? I'm not really sure. Anyway, make Dominic Reyes versus Bogdan Guskov. This is a nice little fight. I think Guskov's around 11th, 12th. Dominic Reyes is around 7th, 8th, I'm pretty sure. So, I think he's 8th or some shit like that. But yeah, make this fight. Makes a lot of sense. Winnable for both guys, but I think Dominic Reyes probably gets it done. Make it during the summer. Moving on. Robert Whittaker versus Jamal Hill. I think this is the fight they're going to make. Or it's either going to be Robert Whittaker versus Khalil Roundtree. We have seen Khalil Roundtree like in Hamzat's camp, so maybe he's getting ready for a fight. Robert Whittaker says he has a fight booked for the summer, so I'm thinking it's probably Khalil versus Khalil versus Robert Whittaker, but I think this would be a better matchup. Jamal Hill washed as fuck. Robert Whittaker washed as fuck. Obviously, Robert Whittaker coming up from 205, so maybe he can take punches better up at 205. Or, I don't know. I think this is a 50-50 fight. Like, Jamal Hill's terrible, but so is Robert Whittaker at this stage in his career. Yeah, Robert Whittaker just doesn't have it anymore. Not good. Jamal Hill, obviously terrible. Footwork, horrible. Nobody likes Jamal Hill. I'm not a big fan of Jamal Hill. I don't, hate him, but I'm also not a big fan. I did feel really bad for him when he got knocked out by Alex Pereira at UFC 300. So honestly, I'm rooting for Jamal Hill in this matchup. He's just not that good, coming off a lot of injuries. So I think this would be a nice unk on unk fight. Even though Jamal Hill's not that old, like his body at this stage, like torn Achilles, knocked out by Yuri, needs a ton of knee surgery. Like had a ton of knee surgery. So I think this fight makes sense. 2 unks. And yeah. I don't know who would win. I'd probably lean Whittaker, to be honest, but Jamal Hill could spark Whittaker out because Whittaker has no chin and he's just old. And I don't know. Actually, I think Whittaker would probably make this easy, like a 29-28, maybe 30-27 decision. Jamal Hill's just way too slow and stuck in the mud. So I say make this fight around summertime. If Jamal Hill's ready to come back, he hasn't fought since last summer, so a year off. Yeah, make this around summertime. This makes sense. Maybe like July, maybe on the International Fight Week card. Although I have a video about that coming out tomorrow, predicting the main card for that. Yeah, make this fight during the summer, June, July, August, and a nice little contender fight at light heavyweight. Moving on, Khalil Rountree versus Paulo Costa is the fight that needs to happen. I see a lot of people saying Paulo Costa versus Magomed Ankalaev, which I can see as well. But then who would Yuri fight? Yuri would be like the odd man out. He'd have to fight like fucking Johnny. Like there would be no one to Yuri for Yuri to fight. You could do Yuri versus Paulo, which I don't know. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Yuri's had so many title fights. You can't give him like another title fight. Ankalaev has a lot of title fights too. I don't know. This fight just makes sense. Two guys that are going to go out there and brawl. I think it would be a really fun fight. I'd probably lean Paulo Costa, to be honest. I don't think Khalil Rountree's that good. He's literally beaten nobody good other than Jamal Hill. Had a close fight with Alex, but didn't beat him. Like, so he's a little overrated in my opinion. He's only got one good win, and it's against Jamal, like the corpse of fucking Jamal Hill in that fight. Jamal Hill looked terrible. So Khalil Rountree a little overrated in my opinion. I think Paulo Costa would win this fight. I'm pretty sure Khalil Rountree's southpaw too. Yeah. So this would be nice for Paulo Costa to get an easy win against another southpaw. So I say make this fight, and then if Paulo Costa wins this fight, then you give him the title. Like, we don't need to give him the title shot, or the interim or the vacant title shot straight away, but like a one win over Azmat Mirzakhanov, does that guarantee you a title shot? Probably not, but like maybe he'll get it just because light heavyweight division is so shallow right now. But I think give him one more fight. If Khalil wins, then he's back in the mix. If Paulo wins, then he's cleared next for the title shot when Ulberg comes back. And obviously this leaves two people out. I think you make Magomed Ankalaev versus Yuri Prochazka. I don't think Carlos Ulberg is going to vacate the belt. I think he's going to hold on to the belt. I don't think they're going to strip him. I don't think they're going to vacate him. So this might be for the interim. I don't know if they put Yuri and Magomed, who are both coming off losses in title fights, back into an interim title fight. That's why I could maybe see Paulo Costa, moving in there versus probably Ankalaev, because Carlos Ulberg's the current champ, and I don't think they'd want, when Carlos comes back, just to give Yuri a title shot again. So I think they might do Magomed versus Paulo Costa, which I'd be okay with, but I think this fight would just be so much more fun. Yuri, obviously way more exciting than Paulo, in my opinion, even though Paulo's pretty exciting, but Yuri would be way more exciting. People like Yuri way more. And him versus Magomed Ankalaev would be a great fight. Now, I do think Ankalaev would probably spark out Yuri. I'm not going to lie. I want Yuri to keep winning, so maybe put Yuri versus, like, I don't even know, Volkan Oezdemir or some shit. I don't know. Give Yuri an easy fight so he can just get a fucking win. I think Magomed Ankalaev versus Paulo Costa would be a better fight. I think it would be way more boring. But yeah, in this matchup, I say run this like Abu Dhabi. I mean, Carlos Ulberg is not going to be back anytime soon. So, like, Yuri just got knocked out, so give him some time. Ankalaev, isn't that active anyway, so I don't know. I just say give it some time. Let these two fight. Abu Dhabi. Ankalaev rarely ever fights outside of Abu Dhabi. So make it in Abu Dhabi. Make it in November and like some, like a crowded fight night somewhere. I don't know. These guys are pretty pay-per-view worthy. I don't know. So make this, even if they don't do interim, make this the co-main event of Charles versus Arman for the vacant lightweight belt. Put this as the co-main event in Abu Dhabi. Boom. You have two great fights for a pay-per-view. Fucking 4 huge names. Arman, Charles, and then these two. I say do that. Put this on the Abu Dhabi co-main event. Not for the vacant, not for the interim, just as a number one contender fight. And I do think Magomed Ankalaev probably wins, and then we'll get Ulberg versus Ankalaev. And hopefully Ulberg slams out Ankalaev, because I do not want Ankalaev as champion, and I do kind of fuck with Ulberg after the last performance. So this is what I think you should do with the light. This is what I think the UFC should do with the light heavyweight division. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Let me know what you think of my matchups in the comments. Peace.